Good evening. Thank you for joining me. Listen, hope everybody's well. Hope everybody had a positive, healthy day and striving to be better today than they was yesterday. Just in case you're joining me for the very first time, I am Brian Glaze Gibbs, and this is my story. This is my ministry. What I'm gonna talk about today is I'm gonna talk about Brian Glaze Gibbs versus Samuel, Baby Sam Edmonson. A lot of times, like I get in my DMs, I get in the email, and I get, asked question like, I guess who I fear, who do I did not want any problem with, and I get names thrown at me. I get Baby Sam name thrown at me a lot. I get this guy they call the president, his name thrown at me a lot. I get different individuals, and like people want to know, like, the preacher crew, I get his name thrown at me a lot. And it's like how, like, saying, was I afraid of these guys? Did I have any direct dealing with these guys? What, like, problem that we ever had and how did I handle it or whatever? One individual in particular I'm gonna speak about, like I say, Baby Sam. I got a lot of respect for Baby Sam. Baby Sam, hey, my Sagittarius brother. Basically, right now, my birthday December 1st, his birthday December 2nd. Baby Sam is a few years older than me. Like I say, my Sagittarius brother. And like I said, I know how I am. So I can only imagine how he is. I guess it's like looking into the mirror. You can see yourself, especially right now if you got a problem with this individual. Another individual that was a Sagittarius is Delroy Uzi Edwards, another individual that was out there that, did a lot of stuff. And right now, trust me, if he had the opportunity now, he would say that it wasn't worth it, that crime doesn't pay. So as I get into the story about Baby Sam and them, like when I first met Baby Sam, I knew him through a friend of mine. This guy I did time with, he had like 15 to life when I was serving like 2.5 to 5 and 2 to 4 from 81 to November 1984. And I met this guy, I'm talking about he's from the East New York section. I can remember when I first ran into him. We was in Green Haven. That's when I caught a stab in beef and I got kicked out of Fishkill and got sent to Green Haven to, serve 150 days in the box. I got a brand new court case. So I went from a medium facility into a maximum security. So I met this brother and he was from East New York. But like I say, he only got a lot, on Nostrand Avenue in Brooklyn. And he caught a body, him and his partner at the time, they caught this body. And they was known, stick-up kid. And I'm talking about a lot of guys, like especially like, younger, like looked it up to them. And, they had a hell of a reputation. So just so happened, this guy came into the facility. Like, I forgot where he came from, but he came into Green Haven. And when he came to Green Haven, I'm talking about most of the guys, like, they was in awe with this guy. They was, like, fascinated by this guy. And to me, like, they used to sweat him. And don't get me wrong, I heard a lot about the guys. He was a little bit older than me. He had a heck of a reputation. But you know what? Honestly speaking, even then, at 19 years old, I didn't pay him no mind. Like, I wasn't that type. If I know you, I know you. If I didn't, I didn't. So, being that everybody else was like approaching him, guess what? Me, I stood away from him. I avoided him at all costs. And finally, I guess that's aroused his curiosity and he wanted to know who I was. And mainly right now, guess what? We wound up, he introduced himself. We wound up, used to walk the yard, schooled me a lot of different things. And we became, good friends. Then I went home. So, I'm saying all that to say this. It's like, even right now, when I had the situation with Baby Sam, and him and Baby Sam was like this. They grew up like brothers. So, they had a hell of a bond. So, like I say, I kind of knew a Baby Sam through this individual. So now when I got acquitted and I came home and I was like a free agent, Baby Sam and them approached me. I can say Baby Sam personally came to me when I got acquitted and wanted me to be part of his crew. So when you sit back and you look at it, at that time, you got Baby Sam. I don't know how much money he was making. He was making tons of money at the time or whatever. So you had him and his crew. And most of the guys that he had under him was like Johnny Ray. Johnny Ray could have been his own leader. Sean Prue Amar. Amar, another old timer, could have been his own leader. Victor Breland, I'm talking about right now, was never met a body that he didn't like. He could have been his own leader. But all of them fell under the Baby Sam umbrella. So when he came to me and made the proposition, I thought about it. But then again, right now is, what? I was not feeling warm and fuzzy about that. So, once I got the position I got with Lorenzo Fat Cat Nichols, I kind of, declined Baby Sam offering. Okay, now, as time went on, like I say, things start happening. And I remember a situation where 2 people got killed. They was murdered. And a pregnant woman came along and said, guess what? She witnessed, she seen the whole thing. And she went through Brooklyn North homicide. And she went down there. It was a pregnant woman, a UPS driver. And they went down there. They started looking through the photos, all the mugshot. And when they looked through the photos of the mugshot, she basically identified me, Brian Glaze Gibbs, as the shooter, as the killer. Whereas, to be honest, I didn't have nothing to do with that. So I can remember this guy, my man A, may so rest in peace. I can remember, I remember during that period of time, I was about to take a trip. I was on my way out of town to go to my sister's wedding. And when he came up, and he started talking about that whole situation when these 2 people got killed. And he gave me play-by-play, he was there. So, even with that being said, I didn't really pay anything in mind, but when people come to you, you listen to the words that come out their mouth, and you just make mental notes. As time went on, probably a month later, I get this phone call. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm hanging out down in South Carolina, leaving New York. And there's a lot of times when I left New York and went out of state, I felt at peace. I didn't have to worry about the bulletproof vest, the armed security, being strapped. I didn't have to worry about that. When I was out of town, I was totally at peace. So now I get this phone call, as I'm laying up in bed, I get this phone call, and it's from my Cyprus headquarters. So someone from that was on Rikers Island at the time called my man, my first lieutenant at the time, and he passed the call through, to South Carolina, where I was staying at my mother baby mansion that I just got built. So when he passed the call through, the guy was on the other end, and he was telling me about my man A. And he was telling me how my man A was betraying me in regards to he was on a visit with I guess Allah Justice and Keyshawn at the time. And he was basically telling them security detail of how we operated. And that left a nasty taste in my mouth. So all I can remember at that present time is I wasn't thinking. And if I was thinking, I was allowing my emotion to supersede my intellect. Because the only thing I was seeing red, I was seeing blood. Because I'm saying somebody that was close to me was betraying me. So automatically, you know what? I allowed my emotions to supersede my intellect. And I can remember getting off the phone with that inmate. Right now, once we disconnect that call, me and my man was talking. I said, look, man, the next time we see him, he got to go. The next time we see him, he's out of here. Less than 12 hours later, like I say, the guy was gone. And, when you sit back and you look at it, okay, who am I to say who lived and who died? But when you get caught up into that make-believe world, that street world, that wanna-be-down world, that gangster world, guess what? You do things that you feel you need to do to protect your position in your organization, which was the M&M, the Money and Murder crew at that present time. But now, like I said right now, it was not worth it. So, like I told you right now, was when I hit A was real deep, with, he wasn't down with Baby Sam and them, but they grew up together and they had a great relationship. So even with that being said, I got word on the street that, Baby Sam and them coming after me. Okay, here it is right now. I knew Baby Sam. I knew Johnny Ray. But I didn't know what the rest of his crew looked like. Okay, so when I got that word, okay, I knew what to expect. I knew what I needed to do. I knew that we had to be prepared because once again, these individuals was older than us, and I feel, honestly speaking, was just as dangerous as we was. But the difference is we got to protect ourselves, keep our guards up at all time. So even with that being said, it's some guys came at us. And when they came at us, we got into a big shootout. And one thing led to another. Okay, what I'm going to read is certain things from this book right here. The Beyond Lucky book, the Brian Glaze Gibbs story. Get your signed copy by emailing me, Brian, BRIANGIBBS1201 at yahoo.com. Get your signed copy. Everything right there, the good, the black, the ugly, is in this book. This is my ministry. So what I'm going to do is, okay, read it. And as I'm going to read it, I want you to fully understand. Okay. Security breach. Running an M&M crew kept me on the edge. Playing two sides of the fence has a death as a consequences. Every business has security issue. In the corporate world, they hack into computer system by breaking through the electronic firewall. When employees and customers don't feel safe or secure, they lose their trust in you. Every aspect of the business always present new challenges. On April 1988, it was a quiet Saturday morning as I was knocked out, okay? I was living in my mother's newly built baby mansion in South Carolina when I was awakened by the ringing of the phone. Gathering my thoughts, I sensed trouble. It was my number one lieutenant calling me from my headquarters in Brooklyn at the Cypress Hill housing. He informed me that one of my crew, I'll call him A, was visiting at Rikers Island. He gave up information on our operation and the run of my security at the Cypress Hill housing headquarters to some of my known enemy. I had let it be known ahead of time that anyone caught linking information from my crew would die, and that anyone attempting to play both sides of the coin would die. After speaking with this individual inmate that was on Rikers Island, I got off the telephone and contacted Rick and explained to him the situation about A. Despite A was not being part of my crew, he was a close friend who I trusted and loved it and was in a position to set me up. Okay? The way security was set up, no one came to see me without prior approval. Once you arrive, you will be escorted from your car, cab, or the street by 4 heavily armored crew members. Anyone who entered the building was searched. If you made it past those levels of security, including 4 to 6 heavily armored men wearing bulletproof vests, then before entering the apartment, your shoes came off. Every defense against the elements of pride was eliminated. This was before 9/11. And as I say, like I told y'all folks, I felt betrayal. I felt like when I got that phone call, that, hold up, wait a minute here. If you love and care about me, you down with me or whatever, guess what? You do not give my enemy, information. So the difference was, after that information, I should have thought more. I didn't. Only thing I saw was red. And right now, just like that, a friend was cut down, was killed because of that. So now, as you sit back and you think about it, he was affiliated with the Baby Sam organization. And right now, if he's part of the Baby Sam organization, guess what? What can you think? What's going to happen? Do you think Baby Sam is going to sit back and let that go? Do you think Baby Sam going to, give me a pass or give anybody a pass? Okay, let me go on. In less than 16 hours, A was gunned down in front of 148 Dorchester Street between Southern and Belmont. I wasn't anywhere in New York when the hit occurred, but when the homicide detective on the scene started asking questions and not getting any answer, one of them say, "None of you have to tell me who did this. I know who it is, and you know who did it. Glaze did it. Glaze murdered this guy. Glaze is the one who was responsible for all the murders that occur around here." I had a lot of individuals who was following me for all the wrong reasons, but somehow I felt I was still human. Arriving back to New York, I met with Fat Cat and literally cried and told him I didn't want to do this anymore. Who's I to say who lived and who died? Like I told you, you want something. You want a power structure. Once you get it, you understand and you realize that's not what you really want. But yet and still, regardless of what, I allow myself to become that person. I allow myself to had that brute force and was responsible for saying who lived and who died. And I am not God. And when you sit back and you look at it, guess what? I am sorry. I am wrong. Because once again, I'm a human being. That man was a human being. As I talked to his sister, you know what? He loved me. I love him. But right now is I was responsible for his death. Like his sister say, when I did that to him, right now is his death caused the death of his grandmother, caused illness to her son. How the heck am I supposed to be? I stole this man's legacy. All for what? All because of the wrong reason. All because right now is I went the wrong way. I allowed myself to become play. I allowed myself to be something that I wasn't. And that's wrong, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and continue. And like I said right now, is like I just want you to understand. I was once the problem. Now I'm seeking to use my story as part of the solution. How do I use my story to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and get people to understand that crime doesn't pay? I don't want no more Glaze Gibbs. I don't want no more Baby Sam. It shouldn't be no more Howard Mason. It shouldn't be no more Lorenzo Fat Cat Nichols. Right now is, guess what? We destroy our community all for the wrong reason. And you know what? Guess what? We got to stop. We got to get these kids to understand that's not the way. Okay. After A was hit, okay, word on the street was that Baby Sam's crew was going to kill me. The biggest problem with Baby Sam was that I didn't know what all of his crew looked like. Although I did know what Baby Sam and Johnny Ray looked like. I was in Orlando, Florida, doing a funeral. Okay, while I was down there, okay, relaxing. Okay, I left LaGuardia Airport Friday, May 6, 1988, and returned Monday, May 9th. Okay, while I was in Florida, I wrote Sweet L. Sweet L, like I told you, was an associate of mine that I met in Green Haven some years ago. Okay, to try to find out if Baby Sam and his people really did have a hit on me. Sweet L and Baby Sam was exceptionally close, like brothers. So I knew that Sweet L would know. Sweet L assured me that Sam and his people did not feel that I had anything to do with it. A murder. He also said that this Puerto Rican guy named Nelson, who was from the Hardy Boy, was killed. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly killed by Baby Sam and them, believing that Nelson was responsible for a death. Okay? Sorry for poor Nelson. You never know when you are in business if you can be killed for the wrong reason. I continued visiting Sweet L daily until August 1988. During one visit with Sweet L, I remember telling him that I did in fact gave the order to hit A and told him the reason. But it didn't seem to matter to Sweet L. I confided in him. If he wanted to tell, then he could have started World War III between Baby Sam and me, but he didn't. But just like I said right now, Wiz, even during that period of time, like I said right now, we got, you know what I'm saying, people that came after us. And right now, like I said, I felt it was Baby Sam. We got into a big shootout. And like I say, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to protect yourself. Like I told you right now, I knew I was wrong. And right now, even if Baby Sam and them came at me, you know, that was their right. When you go after and you do something to people, loved one, people that love and care about, what you expect? You expect repercussion. You expect retaliation. And right now is, man, like even then, like I told you right now, we was all lost soul, lost individual that got ourselves caught up into a world that we shouldn't have. Folks, listen, man, get this, get your copy. Right now is, like I told you, I talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is my ministry. I am not your typical minister. But once again, the right person, the right kids, the lost soul that read this, young or old, guess what? It will change your life. It will change your life. Get your signed copy by email me, Brian, BRIAN, GIBBS 1201 @yahoo.com. Hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel. Listen, text me, email me, DM me. You know what I'm saying? Right now I'm on Instagram, Brian Glaze Gibbs. Listen, this is the truth. I am the truth. The truth should set you free. Thank you very much.